Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Belmont Park on Sunday is the $100,000 license fee stakes, and you can bet it with a DRF Bets account. All you have to do to sign up is go to drf.com/join, type in a promo code TV150, and you get a $150 sign-up bonus immediately. Here's the field for the license fee. Again, 6 furlongs on the inner turf for fillies and mares. Mike, the number 1 Stormy Victoria has been competing around 2 turns in her last 3 races with some pretty good results, but you've always liked her cutting back to 1 turn at shorter distances.
Yeah, I almost don't even care. I know she ran well in her first 2 starts at Gulfstream over the winter. Won one of those races, but ran really well in both of them. And I almost don't even really care about those races because I really don't think she wants 2-turn routing. I don't think that's really her thing. I didn't think she ran well at all last time, but you know, again, I just don't know how much I really care about it, Dan. To me, she's a 1-turn sprinting kind of horse. This is what she really wants to do. She's won 3 races in her career at Belmont Park, all of them either 6 or 7 furlongs. To me, they're the 3 best races she's run since she's gotten over here in Christophe Clement's barn. And that includes one at 6 furlongs last September where, I mean, it's not like there was some kind of big pace in that race. They didn't go fast in front of her. She sat last. She came flying down the stretch and crushed that field. I think this is what she wants to do.
Now, she's a mare that recently, at the very least, has been coming from far back.
Yeah.
And as we look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, we're not expecting a fast pace up front. The Timeform US folks with that blue bar believe this race will favor horses on or near the early lead. Does that worry you, or do you simply think that Stormy Victoria is the classiest and best horse in the race?
I mean, it has to worry you at least a little bit because she is going to be off the pace. You know, maybe they just won't go fast at all in front of her. Personally, I don't think she needs a fast pace to be at her absolute best, as we already sort of talked about that race last September. I mean, they did not go fast in that race. Now, maybe this is just a better field. The horses that she ran down that day aren't quite as good, but they did not go a fast pace in that race, and it didn't matter. She still fired down the outside. I really think this is what she prefers to do, and I also just think she might be the best horse in this race.
I really like the way the number 2 Jennifer Linette won the Grade 3 Royal North at Woodbine at 6 furlongs, and I put her on the horse watch list, and I waited and I waited and I waited for a very long time because Jennifer Linette was done for the rest of 2017. She's come back now with 2 tries. I guess you could make excuse for both of those races.
Yeah.
I am concerned, however, that maybe she's never going to come back the same.
I'm a little concerned about that myself because I'm with you. I thought her Royal North was a really, really good effort. And then, you know, I guess the race at Gulfstream, I don't care that much about. I mean, she just sort of got outrun early. It was only 5 furlongs. I did think she was running at the end of that race. I thought it was a little bit too late. I don't know what happened last time in the Giants Causeway. She just didn't fire in that race. You know, I don't want to be too hard on her for it. Maybe she can get back into form here in her 3rd start off the layoff. The thing that concerns me more about her than anything else is it's now 3 races in a row where her speed's just all gone.
Yeah.
I mean, she was never a horse who had to be just way out of it. She could be up close to the pace and still run. I mean, does she just have no speed at all anymore?
A horse with some tactical speed but no recency is the number 7, Lady Alexandra, ridden by Jose Ortiz. This will be the first time in for Graham Motion. The problem is we haven't seen Lady Alexandra since the Coronation Cup in July, where she faced a streaking filly in Morticia, who in her next 4 starts came back to either win or be placed in stakes races with buyers in the 90s.
Right.
Here's my issue with Lady Alexandra before we get to a positive formulator fact. Her big win 2 starts back couldn't have come with a better trip.
Right. Yeah, that's true. She had a perfect trip in that race, but that's kind of her. I mean, she has that running style where she gets up close and she's comfortable tracking in behind horses, and you know what? Those kind of trips tend to work out on the turf. You can put that formulator fact up there now for Graham Motion. I mean, he does have good numbers with this horse, so you know, maybe that allays fears about the layoff a little bit. We'll see what happens. I've always had a little thing for her. I always felt like she was pretty good when Chad had her. I thought there was a chance she might turn out to be okay. I think she's a good turf sprinter. I think she will get a good trip in this race. To me, there were enough things to like about her to throw her in there.
First time motions, 6 months or off or more on the turf. It's been a good angle, 27% winners, a 282 return on investment. JC's Shooting Star closed out her 5-year-old campaign with a win sprinting at Aqueduct. And maybe she's just been a turf sprinter her whole career, and David Donk has figured it out. The pace didn't seem very fast up front, but that race just fell apart. And
it did.
You look at the horses that have come back out of that race, and they haven't been strong.
Yeah, it was a weak field. It was a visually impressive win, and it got the right kind of figure, too. I mean, it was a big step forward for her, so maybe you're right. Maybe they finally found out what she wants to do, and that is sprint on the turf, because if you go back 3 starts on her PPs last October, they sprinted her there, too, and she was 3rd, but, I mean, they just didn't go fast pace in that race, and it was a little bit of an off-turf course. So maybe she catches some pace, she comes running at the end. I think they're better closers than her in this race, but I also think she's pretty good.
Do you think Pretty Perfection has a shot as a sleeper here for Kelly Breen? She's won a third of her lifetime starts. She's another one of those mares that used to have a lot more tactical speed, and we just haven't seen it in her last couple of starts. She was in a really tough spot. That Captiva Island was pretty loaded, and she didn't have an easy trip in that race. It's just that I'm not sure how much I trust her recent form.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, does she have back races that would make her really competitive in here, especially if she gets the right trip? Yeah, she does. But I mean, where has her form gone? And I know there's a lot of dirt racing in there. She's just probably a better turf horse. But I mean, her recent turf form even doesn't really do anything for me. I just wonder if she's, sort of totally lost her form.
Always Thinking finished ahead of Pretty Perfection in that Captiva Island. She also finished ahead of a horse that came back to win an allowance race at Keeneland with a triple-digit Beyer speed figure, and the third-place finisher of that race came back to win an optional claimer at Gulfstream with a 93 Beyer. The issue with Always Thinking, who is already a stakes-winning sprinter at this distance, she has no speed.
Yeah.
And if the pace just isn't electric, she's in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably going to be last early in this race. As little speed as Stormy Victoria has, this horse might even be behind her. And you also have to sort of add in the fact that Stormy Victoria is probably a better closer than she is, too. I just think she's really up against it here.
Nisha won on the turf at Belmont on the Inner on October the 19th. I thought she went pretty quick early, and I thought it was a pretty nice performance, albeit against only $25,000 claimers. And then she lost the rider in the start in her subsequent outing. She was good on dirt in her last two races, and she might be able to control this pace up front. The question is, from a class standpoint, does she have it in her to beat this field?
I felt like maybe she was in a little bit too tough here, but there's no arguing with her recent form. I mean, save the race where she dumped her rider. She's won 4 races in a row. She's been really sharp in all those races, and she's really fast early. I mean, I think you're going to see her on the early lead in this race. I suppose that could make her dangerous. I felt like maybe she was a little bit too tough here, but I'm not going to be totally shocked if she runs a really good race.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the license fee stakes. I'm going to go with the other speed at a price, and that's the 8 Touch of Bling. Now, I missed the wedding. She was 29-1. Maybe I'm here for the funeral. That was an optional claiming race where she went to the front. She put away a decent optional claimer, Kasuga, going into the turn, opened up on the lead, and then was in a full drive with really no one coming. Solid Beyer speed figure. Not really sure where that race came from, but maybe she's just the kind of mare that has found herself in her last 2 for a great trainer. And if Nisha is better on dirt than turf, Touch of Bling might be actually in control of this, turning into the stretch at a big price. Now, I'll be screaming wire if that's the case with the classy closers coming, but she's sharp, she's in the right hands, she's going to get a good trip, she's going to be a price.
All those things are true. I can't argue with any of it.
I'm not sure
we'll
she's
just see what kind of trip she gets in this race. Is she going to be able to chase Nisha if Nisha really shows her speed and still run her best race? Because so far, when you start picking apart her PPs, she basically needs the lead to run her very best race, and maybe she won't get it here. She did run well last time.
She's a big price. You're going to go with Stormy Victoria. Simply the best horse in your opinion.
That's how I looked at it. I mean, I spent a lot of time trying to make cases against her in here just because she might not get the right setup. And then the more I looked at it, the more I felt like maybe she doesn't even need that much of setup. She just might be better than these horses.
And I'll take a shot with Touch of Bling. I went 8-3-1-2 in the license fee stakes on Sunday at Belmont. If you're playing the Sunday Belmont card, please consider DRF Bets and its $150 bonus. Go to drf.com/join. Sign up for your new DRF Bets account by using the promo code TV150. Approximate post time for the license fee, 5:18 Eastern on Sunday. Best of luck.